By the time the alleged goat experiments are conducted at Fort Bragg, many of the Army's highest-ranking leaders have embraced elements of Shannon's philosophies. There's even thought that the 1st Earth Battalion could become activated as a real military unit. However, after serving for 20 years in the Army, Jim Shannon retires. His ideas, however, will live on through a network of 1st Earth soldiers, real-life fighting men who take the concepts of the battalion's manual and turn them into real-life tactics. Though Lieutenant Colonel Jim Shannon retires from the military before his vision of an army of super soldiers can become full-fledged reality, his ideas live on in those that were inspired by his manual and the belief that Americans could in fact become warrior monks.
Basically, what Shannon set forth was literally what we know today to be Jedi Knight warriors. He came up with a laundry list. We are not very cunning in the military, and we need to be.
Peter Brusso is a former U.S. Army soldier and martial arts instructor who is a firm believer in the philosophies of the 1st Earth Battalion.
Pulling down to your body. Okay.
Brusso has even developed a non-lethal weapon that, like its inventor, is painfully deceptive.
This is called a Defender, and basically it's a tool that is designed to attack special nerve endings, nerve places in your body, bony areas where you have a high concentration of pain because it has a small surface area that you're applying a lot of energy to. Very efficient. And it makes you hurt really quickly, and it makes you stop and think, wow. And it's almost so instantaneous, it just stops you dead in your tracks. It doesn't look like much. Using it on the body in a way that's very painful but non-lethal gives you a chance to save their life and your life, both. I always ask for the biggest, strongest, meanest Marine, and they've heard of me. And when I get there, I'm this old fat guy, and it's like, wait a second, this doesn't match, right? And I ask them to choke me. They usually don't choke me, and I usually then insult them by saying, if that's the best choke you can give, the enemies of the United States of America have nothing to fear from Marines. Before I can finish that sentence, they're really happy. And then I use my tool, bink, bink, and they blast backwards, and they can't believe it. And I say, okay, point a gun at me. I disarm them before they can shoot me. Real quick.
He may not look like it, but Peter Brusso is a little bit of a Jedi Knight in disguise.
And then I tell him, the first rule in combat is never to underestimate your opponent. I'm the old fat guy that's going to wear a rag on his head, that's going to stand nearby you on a street somewhere, and you're going to look at me because I'm an old fat guy. You're going to completely discount me as a threat, and I'm your worst nightmare.
Like Shannon, Brusso is a veteran of the same post-Vietnam American Army that was looking for a way to become all that it could be.
I embraced Colonel Shannon's 1st Earth Battalion early on, as soon as I had learned about it, and watched it. He was trying to get us to find a set of rules that we could raise our consciousness to and raise our abilities to.
And not all of Jim Shannon's ideas seem as far-fetched as they appear in the 1st Earth Battalion manual. Take, for example, this dune buggy, which Shannon converted into a lightweight fighting vehicle.
Originally a racing dune buggy made in Southern California, and we brought 30 of these up to the high-tech test ped in the 9th Division in Seattle, and we mounted tow missile launchers, 50-caliber machine guns, and Mark 19 40-millimeter automatic grenade launchers on these, and we pitted them against armor, all kinds of different armor, and because they went 75 miles an hour and could hardly ever be seen, they were very, very effective.
From that, by the way, the SEAL teams have got their dune buggy, which has now Mark 19 grenade launchers on top. They went to Iraq. That came from the 1st Earth Battalion. That came from Colonel Shannon. So it's out of the boxes, and that's a practical thinking of out of the box. It's not quite non-violent, mind you, but it gives you an idea of what this man was capable of doing. Colonel Shannon opened a lot of eyes. He's a hero for that. That said, we had to be more cunning. We had to be a little bit better than who we were. So I think that some of the main core philosophy in the Army, the be all you can be, has blossomed. And that certainly can only point directly back to Colonel Shannon and the 1st Earth Battalion.
While Jim Channon's first